Do you remember this mini flower bed I put in not too long ago? Well, stay tuned to the progress and the update on Miss Charisma. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Adobe Ring Ranch. Guess what Hugh did yesterday? He bought more plants. Tuesday was our drive into town to pick up some supplies, and of course we have to stop in at the hardware store and check out the nursery. And yes, I did find another plant I do have a spot for, so not typical of me buying stuff and not knowing where they're going to go when I got them home. So I wanted to give you a little update on the center circular bed. I specifically bought one plant to fill in one little gap that I've got. So what I'm going to do is flip this camera around and give you a quick update on what we had done in past videos and what I have in store for today. All right, so over, I think it was 2.5 weeks ago, I put in this little tiny bed here within our huge circular bed. Like I had said, it's easier to break down little sections of the bed and just build out. No sense taking on a big, huge project when you can do little bits and pieces at a time. But I don't know if you remember, but we had purchased penta plants, which do very well in the heat and dryness of the desert. This will grow in Connecticut, by the way. You just need a drier spot and definitely a sunnier location, and this would be an annual back east. I had planted 2 of them. Initially, I knew this one was pink. The other one I thought was gonna have some white in it, but it didn't turn out that way, so I'm kind of glad that they both match. Just another little point of interest here. Once the buds like this one have finished blooming, you should deadhead it. So just take a pair of scissors and cut it back where the stem meets the plant. That just encourages more blooming. And one of the extra plants yesterday I purchased was this lavendery colored penta. It seems to be that way at that hardware store. One shopping spree they'll have one color, the next shopping spree they'll have another. Anyway, I picked up 4 of these. I do not know where these are going yet, but I'm sure I will show you in time. This is the blue salvia that we had purchased about 2.5 weeks ago, and it has started to bloom. So we've got multiple perennial salvias here on the property, but most of them are red or pink. This one happened to be blue. It was at the hardware store again like 2.5 weeks ago. It is a perennial here. It is wilting. It's little in the mid-90s, and it really hasn't established itself yet. So thank goodness we have some overcast today, and the next 2 days there should be more overcast. I'm going to give this a good drink of water when I'm done with this video, just to help it along. So I'm going to take this little penta back. We're going to swing around the corner here where the first little section I had done within the circular bed, and show you how well Miss Charisma is doing. This is a Floribunda rose. She will bloom all summer long, and look at the color on her. Is she not gorgeous? I love this. She is covered in blossoms, and there's more blooms on the back side. I'll take you around back in a second. We have something in the corner here called a heuchera. This is Black Forest Cake. The little white markings on here is just from what's in the water system. I think it kind of just sits on the leaves, but it's a great color. And as you can see, the flower heads are this bright fuchsia pink, which play off nicely off this color foliage. This one does take a lot of sun. It does prefer a partial shade situation here at the Adobe Ring Ranch. Initially, I was going to get another one yesterday, and they did have them because on this side, my Agastache that I had grown from seed did not make it. So that tanked on me. So now I have this empty spot that I had to fill. In the center here is a zinnia that I grew from seed. I'm not quite sure of the color yet, but it's side branching and it's looking pretty good. So we'll wait and see what color that is. So upon our shopping spree yesterday, besides the Penta that I had purchased, we had picked up this Gaillardia, and she's another beauty. And look at the color of these flowers. This is another perennial. This will grow back east. Again, it prefers a very sunny, drier spot. It doesn't like dampness, and it doesn't like too much shade, so give it as much sun as you can back east. I've got some new buds coming on. I've got some old buds going. And then I have some that have just opened. And the reason why I purchased this plant was to fill in this one corner here. And this color is picking up on the rose color. So I'm kind of glad that the two of them will complement each other nicely. The foliage here seems to be wilting a little bit. I'm not sure if you're noticing that. I just don't think it's completely hardened off yet. I had it in the sun this morning in the pot, but I'm still going to put it in the ground because we're expecting overcast the next 2 days, and they are actually saying we should get some rain. So I'm going to make sure this plant gets a good drink, and I'm going to be deadheading these older blossoms off this before I put it into the ground. So my plan is to remove the mulch, dig up the hole again. I'm actually going to dump a lot of water in the hole, let it drain down, then I will put the plant in the hole. It just guarantees that the water gets all the way down by the root system and helps that plant out. So that's the project of the day. I was going to set up the camera. I'm not sure if you guys are interested in the time lapse of me working, but I may set it up anyway and then show you the end results when I'm done. Before I do that, I want to take you around the back side of Miss Charisma. And no, I didn't name it that. That is the name that came with the plant. But she is, again, a floribunda rose. So she gets these smaller size roses. Smells great. And then once the blossoms are done, you can deadhead these. And she will put out another flush of blooms. As you can see, some are getting ready to open. I still have a couple of tight buds here to open up yet. And this is the second flush of blooms that she's gotten. Plant looks good. Blossoms seem to be wilting again. It is awfully warm here for this time of the year. So I'm going to give this a good drink after I get the Gaillardia planted. Another point of interest, if you've got an ever blooming rose, you should always deadhead the plant after the blossoms are done. And a good rule of thumb is when you cut these back, you cut it back to the first set of 5 leaves. So you see the 5 leaves here. So you would just cut that blossom back to that first set of 5. This one here, if you notice, it's not open yet, but the blossom and comes to a 3 grouping of leaves. So you want to cut it back beyond the 3 and look for your first set of 5 leaves, and that's where you would cut it back, and that will encourage a new set of blossoms, probably within 3 or 4 weeks. I think this was about 3 weeks since it's set bud and got going again. But this flower color, again, it's called Miss Charisma. She is a floral bunda rose. She smells fantastic, and she should get about 3 feet by 3 feet. It should be good in the zones back in Connecticut. Again, roses were never a big thing for me back east because they were very difficult to overwinter and keep all of the leaf problems at bay. But here in the desert, I was told roses do really well, and this will be my first attempt at growing roses here in the desert. So for right now, this is the little bed I'm going to be working on just to finish off what I had started by adding the Gaillardia in this corner. I think it'll be much happier once I get it out of the ground. So what I'll do is I'll probably set the camera up and do a little time lapse for you. All right, hang tight. All right, so I got all my equipment ready here. I got my shovels. I got my watering can full of water. Today I'm going to just incorporate a little topsoil and a more premium potting mix to the whole. I think I've already made this particular planting area pretty well supplied with all the nutrients that they're going to need to grow fairly well. But because this is a newer plant, I am going to just incorporate a little more moisture retention here, because being the desert, being so hot, and I'm really not liking the way the plant looks right now. I'm not quite sure that it's hardened off quite yet. It must have come directly from a greenhouse and was never outside. So currently I've got it soaking in a bucket of water. I want to make sure that the root system is well saturated before I put it in the hole. But again, once I dig the hole and get it to the proper depth, I'm going to fill it with water, let it drain down before I put the plant in, because I want that hole to be well soaked before I put the actual plant in. All right, so I'm going to put you on time lapse and let you watch me work. Okay, so that's a wrap. I got the Gaillardia all planted in, and I was correct. It really wasn't watered in all that great. Probably a good rule of thumb. I did water this plant when it was in the pot itself, and the water did come out the bottom of the pot. But it's probably best to soak your plant in, say, a pot of water or a bucket of some water, and give the plant some time to slowly suck up the water. When I removed the plant from the actual pot, I did notice that the bottom had taken in some water, and the top, maybe inch, also had taken in some water. So clearly when I watered it, the water had run off the top of the pot and then down the sides of the pot, and really didn't do the plant any good. So your best thing to do is to actually pop the whole plant into a bucket of water. If you're still unsure, you can remove the plant from the pot and look at the root ball yourself, and you can determine if it's wet enough, and then carry on with your planting. So I did my normal digging of the hole. I did incorporate some more moisture retentive soil here because it is the desert, and a lot of this soil here is strictly sandy. So I wanted to just have it soak up a little more water. The other thing is that instead of my normal 10-10-10 fertilizer, I didn't want it to jump start too fast. This time I'm using something called Osmocote. I know there's a lot of brand names out there, but this just happens to be the one I use. It's good for indoor or outdoor plants, and it is a slow release fertilizer. So there's these little pellets that you just sprinkle into the dirt up at the top of the planting hole and put a little layer of soil on top of that. So every time you water, a little of the nutrients comes off those little pellets and goes into the root system. You don't have to put the fertilizer too deep in the hole because you want every time it rains or you water the plant that it gets soaked in and the fertilizer washes down into the plant. If you put it too deeply in the hole, the fertilizer is going to flow beyond the root system, at least in the beginning. Once the plant is established, I'm sure the root system will go plenty deep enough, but for the time being, I would say maybe the top inch of soil, I would put the Osmocote and then cover it over with either the mulch or additional soil, just to keep it away from the sun and what have you. All in all, I deadheaded it. I took off all the old ones and I left all of the fresh blooms starting and all the ones that are currently blooming. I'm looking at this plant and I'm thinking how nice that's going to go with that charisma rose. These two colors are phenomenal, and that little pop of purple over here, or maroony color from the heuchera, is fantastic. I did do a little moat of soil around the outside. Again, I know I said back east you need to give this a drought spot, but again, here in the desert, I just wanted to do a little moat of dirt so that when I do water it, the water stays around the plant instead of shooting off in one direction and not helping this plant out. As probably next year comes along, that's a different story because the plant will be well established. But for right now, going into the heat of summer, I want to give this plant a good chance in taking root and doing well. I'm just reading the tag here. The name of this Gaillardia is called Guapa Red. Now, I do know there are other ones with a redder flower with a deeper center. I also know there's ones that are more orangey. There are some that have more yellow in it. So I guess it all depends on what plant store you're at, what plant nursery you're at, and depending on what they're carrying at the time. I have started a few from seed myself. They're just slow to get going. Again, most perennials for me, when I start them from seed, are slow to get going. But I do have two that are in pots, and I'm going to just baby them, let's just say, until the fall time, and then I'll find a spot probably within the center bed and pop them in so that next year they will do well for me. But again, I think this is a great addition to this little section of the bed here. So I hope everyone enjoyed and hopefully learned a little something. I did water the rose while I was planting this as well, and I can already see that the blossom heads are standing more upright here, so it definitely needed some water. So, look at your plants, listen to your plants, decide what you could do to help them out, because in the long run, they're going to pay you back, as Miss Charisma is paying me back right now. So for now, This is Hugh signing off from the Adobe Ring Ranch, and I hope everyone tunes in next time for another gardening video, another chicken video, or maybe another cooking video. Take care, everybody.